I think Charlie Kirk is the meat and potatoes of what we're going to talk about.
Spears and Steinberg.
You know what the it is?
Aries and Andy. Jew and the jerk.
You know it's time to get this work.
The real raw, gutter, uncut, cold. No political corrections.
Always sleep.
Being awoke. We discuss politics and jokes.
Cry, we lit.
There's levels to this before you was on your mama.
Harry Spears don't give a fuck.
We talk about race a lot, racism. Much love to my loyal bag holders.
Rollers, loaders.
We got them in the folders.
The whole world on our shoulders.
Spears and Steinberg.
Yeah.
So, folks, if you haven't seen it already, Netflix has a great two-part doc on Charlie Sheen, Tiger Blood. Watch that so that when you listen tomorrow, you will have already done your homework and know where we stand.
Yeah.
So, on this episode, a lot of big popped off. I don't know if that's
Big
the right
headlines.
word. Big headlines.
Yeah. All that sounds wrong.
What? Big
Popped off, big
headlines.
All of it sounds wrong.
Oh, God. Pew, pew.
But there's no way to get it right.
Yeah, so I think Charlie Kirk is the meat and potatoes of what we're going to talk about. But there's a couple other things, one of which in the news was about the Ukrainian woman. Can you pull up her name, Mark? That was good. That's not funny, but I'm not laughing for that. But that was attacked brutally by the brother on the train. So before we get to the heavy stuff,
It's all heavy stuff right now.
No, you're right. But this, I'm going to go to the least heavy of the heavy stuff.
Elina Zeruta.
Okay. God rest her soul.
You gonna throw that up on that screen or not?
This thing's being a bitch. I'll figure it out though.
All right.
I did I send you the clip with Jim Norton? I told you about
No,
it.
I think you sent it to me.
I think I
too.
sent it.
But I watched it.
I saw Jim Norton on Theo Von, and he's basically saying how his transgender wife.
Yeah, he's introducing Theo to his transgender wife.
Right. And how he basically says in a nutshell, I'm going to play the clip. You know that she's a woman because of how her brain works. Immediate eye roll for me. Nigga, knock it off. But here's the clip.
As soon as you talk to her, you know it's
Your wife is trans.
Yes. Transgender, yes.
Transgender.
Yes.
Okay. And so what does transgender mean exactly? Because people use the term all the time.
Yes.
It means a man and a woman?
Yeah, like you're born in a male body, but if you talk to her for 5 minutes, you know that's a woman's brain. But I would lose the argument in court. I don't have the argument in court. She definitely does not have a vagina.
Yeah.
No, she's not at all.
Okay. And you've looked, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's not even a penis. I mean, it's a cock.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Wow. Were you able to discern over time why you liked something so unique, kind of? Like, is that a way to ask it?
Yeah, you ask whatever you want. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's one of those things where when it comes to sexuality and attraction, what makes a person like what they like? I don't have the answer to that. It's a pull. It's like you don't choose what direction you're going to get pulled in sometimes. Like, for me, attraction has never been like, I'm going to go over there and like that. It's going to be something hits me and I kind of like lock into it and I feel it and it pulls me that way. You know what I mean? But
like a piece of art, kind of.
In a way, yeah, kind of, yes, but the living art, one that you can.
So in other words, his wife has a disquiat. That's a good joke.
I like this guy.
A disquiat.
Yeah.
Listen, cut the. Just say you like gay sex disguised as a woman. Because you're sitting there going, and listen, we already knew that. I think this is the first time it's been fully publicly put out there. But Jim Norton had always had hints of liking trannies.
He said he likes transsexuals. He said it before.
Okay. But to sit here, and that's the part where you lose me, where you go, if you talk to her for 5 minutes, you can see her brain is definitely a woman. But then you follow up with, oh, she has a... Stop it. Stop it. You like gay sex disguised as a woman.
What's
Just
gay
say
sex?
that.
What's gay sex?
You know what gay sex is. And I'm not being funny in terms of how people poke fun at you. Man-on-man action is gay sex.
It's like in the butthole.
I don't care what hole you put it in. If it's male-on-male action, it's gay sex. It sounded like you were defending it, or trying to.
He's trying to.
If Jim Norton wanted to be gay, he'd be gay.
He is gay. That is gay. That is gay.
Listen what he said.
Because he calls himself a woman, wears a skirt, puts on lipstick and rouge. You want me to buy that? That's not a man. It's a man. A man.
He likes effeminate men.
Biological.
He likes effeminate men.
But that's a very feminine man. He's obviously attracted to femininity.
Yeah,
There's nothing feminine about a man pretending to be a woman.
that's
a charade.
No,
If you
but
have
that's not.
tits and
That's
you
what
try
he
to
says.
look like a woman,
That's how he
it's
sees it, though. Jim
femininity.
sees it a different way.
Okay, well, give me Stevie Wonder's eyes, and I'll see it however you tell me it is.
Listen, I'm. He likes. I'm not even.
Okay, didn't say that. But don't say you could tell she's a woman by the way her brain works. That is the most delusional, insane I've ever heard.
Because you could easily say you could tell she's a man because of her.
So he just claimed two things then.
I think listen. I'm not an expert on this fluid trans lifestyle that Jim has involved himself in, and for a long time. But I think that there is something that I think that Theo kind of hit on something. He said, "What makes you attracted to something so unique?" Maybe Jim does it. Maybe Jim wants bisexuality, but all in one unit. Like he wants the
I like
boobs.
how you got
like
a cup in the balls.
He wants the
One
wants the
unit.
boobs. He wants femininity, but he wants something that's biologically male. That's a lot. I'm going to say this, though.
Welcome to the circus.
I worked with Jim once in Phoenix, and I was his host. And I got to say, Jim is the most uncomfortable person I've ever been around. I didn't go in the green room very much. I went in to meet him, stayed out the whole time. Nothing wrong with him. He was a very nice person. He just had this energy, a very vibrating at a different frequency. And I thought it was because, and I still think it's because, he's a New Yorker. He's comfortable in a New York atmosphere where you said the circus. You just said the circus. I think he's comfortable in where he feels comfortable. And I think his comfortability is in a very unique place. And this kind of speaks to that. He has a unique taste. I'm not saying one way or the other. I don't understand. I'm not in the room. We didn't ask him what his sexual preference, positions, what he wants to have happen in that room. I don't know any of that. But he seems to prefer something that's feminine, but he still seems to like the peace. He wants it to be there.
The piece, that his art.
Yeah.
That's the piece. Skiat. I like that joke, man.
I thought it was pretty good.
It's like if you would have put a frame around his wife, and it would be the top with a blouse and enough where you see the hanging out the unit, and it'd be this is a skiat.
Yeah, and I think it's funny what you're saying, but I'm stuck on the idea that I'm not educated in this. Okay, I'm really not. I'm
What is there to be educated about?
Some people find fluidity in their sexuality, and that is able to determine whether they're male or female. I don't agree with that. I agree in the biological situation that I understand.
First off, is there anything inherently wrong with, say, all right, Norton, you're gay. You like a trans person, they have a. Is there anything wrong with that?
Yeah.
Say that again.
Is there anything wrong with
No,
that?
say the whole thing again. I'm just trying to catch you. Make sure I.
Your logic. This is really a man. They have a, even though they have tits. It's a weird thing. You're gay. Is there anything wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong in being whoever you want to be.
Boom.
But don't try to sell it to me logically like it is as simple as you say it is when it's not.
So in the interview,
listen,
he was supposed to be like,
wait.
I just, like, what's he supposed to say? He's not supposed to explain his point of view?
No, explain your point of view, but don't tell me, yo, she's a woman, because when you talk to her, the way her brain works, first of all, it's not a her. Second of all, what goes on with her brain that convinces you, oh, it's a woman? But meanwhile, the unit is there. Stop it.
Isn't that the whole point, though? Is the trans folks with their body dysmorphia? There's something going on in their brain that's a little funky.
But that's my question. That's my question. Though.
That's what.
No, but here's my question to you. Since you do seem more educated into the no I'm serious.
He seems more willing to understand or accept whatever that is.
It's more educated in fluidity. He's a younger guy. He's been around this in a different way. I'm not saying anything other than I think when you went to school, this was something that was taught in school, was it not?
No, not at all.
Oh, wasn't taught in college the gender studies. And fluidity and those things that.
Not sure I ever took a gender studies class.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this question though: if you said body dysmorphia and you feel like it's a man biologically and sees him and then now feels that it is a woman, and so now she is a she. But the body dysmorphia is the reason why you feel you're a woman. So then you get boobs, you get the breast implants, you talk like a woman, you act like a woman. And you keep the peace.
Yeah.
Isn't that triggering? I mean, what's more triggering, me misgendering you, or you waking up in the morning and seeing a biological part that is what you feel
as you stand up and piss?
Is what you feel though is
Not at all.
against
with your tits out
against who you are. That's saying that you look at it and you feel like if your body has betrayed you. Isn't that one of the key factors of the betrayal?
Not all. Because what's the other option? You get a fake and then it doesn't work and it leaks and whatever.
The whole thing sounds messy to me.
But it's not.
You see how crazy this sounds?
But going back to body dysmorphia, when you look at yourself and you see yourself, you want to see yourself as a woman. The hanging out of you is not feminine. Where is that? Where in the arc of femininity is the?
Well, most people tend to keep.
I'm asking a real question.
It's a great question.
Most people actually don't get that bottom surgery
because they lose the feeling and sensation.
Yeah, and overall, they just want to. They're sexual beings too. They don't want to lose that sensation.
But the thing that triggers you is that you feel like your body has betrayed you, that you are a woman trapped in this body. So why would you
think they're hypocrites if they don't get it chopped off?
I'm not saying hypocrites. How does that affect them in that feeling that you've been betrayed? I shouldn't use the word betrayed, that you've been put into the wrong body. But that is a major contributing factor to being in the right or wrong body, is it not? Or is that an acceptable part where that is now, it's a female?
Well, I think some of this stuff is what's socially acceptable, so they want to be passing. That's probably their main thing.
I'm asking what I think is I'm not trying to say that it's wrong. I'm asking the question. I'm asking it. Does that not, when you look in the mirror, is that anything that?
I mean, that's for a trans person to.
I would like the answer to that, because we did have someone who was trans, but they were female to male.
Can a trans person be transparent? I'm just trying to work on the word trans.
Trans.
Listen, and we're going to get into this later with Charlie Kirk, but I will say this, and I don't want to use this as a jumping point to get into Charlie Kirk because we're not there yet, but this is why I said in my post, yeah, I didn't agree with a guy on a lot of things, especially race and stuff within the black community. But when he went on those college campuses and took those kids head on and said, what is a woman? Well, I feel a woman is, no, what is a woman? Facts versus science versus feelings. Facts versus feelings. I absolutely was a fan of Charlie Kirk when it came to that. Now, I don't want to get into Charlie Kirk. I just brought that up to say that.
But I'm saying it is, though, when you work into body dysmorphia, it's the feeling that you're in the wrong body. So I can't speak to that. It's where the brain is disconnected from the physical, is it not?
I have financial dysmorphia. Some of my money is in the wrong accounts.
Do you know what my favorite commercial? I'm sorry, because you just said that, though. There's a commercial where he goes, the guys are talking about how they had their money all invested in what accounts, and he goes, all my money's in checking. Like he doesn't have any of those. He just has all his money is there to pay his bills.
I haven't seen that.
I think that was a funny commercial.
I don't think. Listen, if if you're a trans person, even if you get all the surgeries and even if it looks like a perfect all that, will you ever really feel like
I don't know.
if you had to make the change to begin with, will you ever feel 100%? But these surgeries and stuff, people do feel better after getting them.
I understand it. So what I'm asking is, if you don't have that surgery and you wake up every morning and like Ari said, you wake up with the heart on and have to go take a piss, but you're a woman, does that part upset you?
I have a feeling they wouldn't, to be honest. I think they still like the dick.
Well, then,
What games are we playing here?
What do you mean?
Yeah, but something, but they still like the dick. What games are we playing? What is it? There's something.
Well, does it
what's
exist
the
or does
perfect
not
pussy?
exist?
What's the perfect?
It's-
the perfect comes from a real woman.
Well, it's a hybrid.
Well-
It's a hybrid person then.
Wait till science changes that.
It's a hybrid person then, because they want
Okay.
but they want boobs.
It's sounds like it's a spectrum.
No.
No.
Okay.
no.
Well, let me ask you a question, because let's just get into a physical statement.
Like 2 more minutes on this.
Okay, physical statement. There's electric cars and there's gas cars, and now there are cars that are hybrid cars.
Okay.
Is there a spectrum of cars, or is there hybrid gas or and electric cars? Is it a spectrum of cars? Would I go out there and go, well, let me see your spectrum of cars that you have here? Or is it there's 3 different kinds of cars?
There are a spectrum of cars. There's sedans, there's coupes, there's SUVs.
Okay, but you can define all of them.
Sports
They're all
cars.
cars, so we're all human. We're all human.
So trans hybrid.
That's all I'm asking. Is it a hybrid?
Yeah.
I really would like.
But
I would
think
like
the
to have
point of
someone.
this-
I would
the
like to
point
have.
is it exists. It's a thing.
It's not about that. I would like
like
to have someone
gay
on
people
this.
exist.
I think part of the problem is that we don't ever have these conversations openly with. Like, I really like the Theo conversation because it is more explanation or more understanding. When it's us talking about it, what do we know? But it's hard to have that conversation because you feel like you're stepping over or you're making fun. Like, it's making fun. It's not making fun. I don't understand, and I'm asking the questions.
Bum, bum, bum,
All
bum.
right. Let's
Bum,
move
bum,
on.
bum, 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 bum.
You know who was
Welcome.
asking the questions?
Welcome to Transgender Park.
Yeah, he
Charlie
was.
Kirk.
Well, he was giving people the opportunity, but go on.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
All
We'll
right.
get into it first.
Second order of business. What was the Ukrainian woman's name?
Oh Jesus.
Ursula. Was it Ursula? Ursula? Didn't you have this on deck?
Yeah, but
Yeah, well, I said it. I thought that was. Her name is Elina Zeruta.
May she rest in peace. That was one of the most brutal attacks I've ever seen. And I think the part that got me the most was the realization where she realized what had just happened to her. And I think you could see specks of blood on her a little bit. And there was a look on her face where she just was horrified because she realized what had happened to her. And of course, that one right there, that right there, with her face in her hands, and then you go on to see the dude from the camera, how he walks towards the car door, and you just see the specks of blood around him. And of course, I don't know how soon after he did what he did that she died. And listen, man, I said in a post, that nigga should be buried underneath the jail. That's horrible. And apparently he said on the way out, I got the white girl. And someone put up an AI picture where they had replaced her as a black woman. And all the people that were around that watched this happen were black. And the killer was black. Well, I'm sorry. The people around her were white. And the killer was white. And the guy said, had this been a black woman, nothing in Charlotte would be standing. And I said, Tulsa, Oklahoma recovered. So if you know, you know. And for those of you who might not get what I meant by that, I meant, so you're insinuating that had this been a black woman, black people would have went into a rage and burnt the whole city down. You mean the way that people in Tulsa, Oklahoma had their city burned down by white vigilantes and white people. And black people were murdered, killed, and lost everything they had simply because they were well-to-do. They were better, And when I say better, I'm not talking from a superior complex as one human being over another. I'm talking about they had more money, their own shops, their own businesses. They were doing a lot better than the white people in their communities. And for that, their was destroyed. So let's turn it down a notch.
Okay, but, and I'm not, there is a but here it's not a relevant but I think it is. The idea is we're supposed to be getting better than this, and it seems like we're not getting better.
I think we are.
Well, we are because nothing got burned down.
I think there's more cameras around. Things are more filmed. There's more room for outrage on social media. Take, for instance,
But social media causes outrage, though, as well.
Yeah.
Facts.
But take, for instance, you remember the Sydney Sweeney thing?
Yeah.
We all know that can't have been that many people that were like, but, you know, once people on what's supposed to be one side say it, the other side goes, look, it's happening, amplifies it, turns it into this big thing. But I think overall, in terms of crime and all this this stuff is going down, and it's probably lower than it probably has ever been.
There's a lot of probablys in there. There's a lot of probablys. You just gave me a lot of probablys.
Well, I can't give you absolutes.
You got the computer right in front of you.
What am I supposed to? Well, what? Crime statistics are down, probably.
You were starting to make a point before you jumped into his that I really wanted to hear.
Well, I would hope that we're getting better. I would hope that, like, first of all, black communities had been taken advantage of. And so there is an outcry when black people have been victims. And in the society that we live in today, we would think that it is getting better. And then when we see something that shows us that it's not, and a city gets burned down, or, you know, a neighborhood gets burned down, something gets burned down, is that the outcry? Remember who, I forgot who said it, but the the violence is the last stage. I forgot how it's said, but it's basically that's your last hope. That was your last attempt to show people or to tell people this is a up situation. But I would think that things are getting better, but somehow we don't seem to improve. And we were talking about this the other day. Are we getting better, or are we just? Is it better?
Listen, first of all, we all know that there are crazy maniacs among us of all colors and creeds. Number one. Number two, again, I don't condone that. When I saw that, because you go from a human standpoint. Damn, what if that was my girl or my sister or my cousin or somebody, a female important to me, that this did that too. I personally think he should stand 2 inches away from a tank muzzle and have his whole head exploded by the blast. So what he did was heinous. Let me be clear. But it just seems like there's this thing, whether it's the black fatigue hashtag, where white people are fed up, because it led to the footage of all the I don't know if they're white nationalists, but the angry mob of white boys going, white men fight back, white men fight back. And some people thought that was in response to Charlie Kirk, when others went, that has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. That was about the young girl that got slashed and cut her throat cut by the black dude. And I saw this clip where this white guy today was like, you know, there's this thing where black people are up in arms because there's certain parts of the country where white people want to have their own communities, where it specifically says whites only, because we're tired of the drugs, we're tired of the crime, we're tired of all the black people are doing, black fatigue. Why can't white people have anything of their own? But yet black people, you got your own holiday, you got your own channel, you got this, you got that. And this is where I go, white people, stop it. Because the scales of balance and power for the longest time have been so in your favor and unfair that, yes, if black people want to have their own channel, which is one compared to the thousands that are owned and operated by white powerful people, what is your cry?
It's owned by a white company.
Okay, but if so we can't have a black month, which is the shortest month of the year? How come black people, black this and black that, black owned? Because for so long, we were excluded. We weren't allowed to have it. And like I said, Tulsa, when we had it, you took it and you burned it. So yeah, we have to fight for our piece of the pie. But for white America to all of a sudden act like, man, this is unfair. We're still trying to catch up. We're still trying to catch up to you. Now, things aren't the way they used to be. And as Andy would say, we're getting better.
Are we, though?
I would like to think so. But when shit like this happens, it's 2 steps forward, 3 back.
Yep. Okay. But here's the other problem with it. And listen, this isn't a judgment. This is just the reality.
And I'm sorry, keep your point. But systemic racism and certain things that are structurally are still in place. There are things there are structures and systems that are still in place for you. So stop it.
But then say what that structure is.
I'll look it up.
Mark will do it for you. Here's the rage that comes along with it. And you say 2 steps forward, 10 steps back, or whatever, however you want to put it. But it's also the group of black people in America is still only 13%. There's going to be disadvantages when the advantage is over 50% is white. There are going to be advantages because of the sheer numbers. There's going to be those advantages. There's no way around that. There just isn't. I don't know how, but the advantage is, and what should happen, what America is supposed to be, is that is an advantage, that we're all Americans. And this is where the problem is, and this is going to bleed into Charlie Kirk, and that's not where I'm trying to go with it, but I will.
Please don't. Don't.
It's going to.
But I do want to make one last point, but go ahead.
Go ahead, make your point, and then I'll get into it.
No, because I don't want to interrupt your flow.
It's just that America is what's supposed to happen is that we're supposed to become Americans. And that's the idea, the Americans. What we're fighting right now is, are we Americans? And then to top it off, as we get into this political side, and this is where it goes into Charlie Kirk, is the separation. I talk about this as in a form of baseball, that we don't realize who we are. We're Americans, and we're supposed to be becoming Americans. But what does that mean? And for every group of people, it seems to be different. But there was a time, and I'm not talking about when there was slavery and black people didn't have a say. I'm talking after that, where the idea was to come and have the opportunity to have a better life than where you might have had a life somewhere else. And that's not what we talk about anymore. We talk about the division of who we are, not of becoming one. And that was what was great about this. We were all from somewhere else. This is still one of the greatest experiments ever. We are all from somewhere else. No one is American by heritage. We're American because we live here, and we are supposed to be trying to create a culture that allows us all to move forward. But that is where the problem is. Can we move forward? Because we have all different racial groups, and especially right now is we're trying to point fingers at everyone. And I'm going to stop there because that's where the Charlie Kirk part comes in even more about the finger pointing.
And let me just say to that guy's rant, black people, you're always seeking to have your own. Well, here's what proves my point. For a long time, black people have been going, you know what? Why don't we create our own Oscars, our own night where we appreciate our creativity and the work that we do in Hollywood. Let's stop depending on the Oscars. And you know why that is? Because the control board that decides who gets recognized, who doesn't, who gets awards, are all white. And so many times we get ignored. We're not invited to the party. So that's why when you go, how come black people gotta have their own shit? That's why. Because we have to fight for our place at the table. So based on what Andy's saying, if this American ideal was what it's supposed to be, then we wouldn't have to do that.
But our Oscars were transitioning. Our Oscars were being produced by a black production company.
The Oscars have been around for how long? 50-something years? Once, finally. And that was recent.
Yeah.
So why do we have to wait that long?
It's not about why you have to, but if the change is being made, what are we supposed to stop progress?
And 9 times out of 10, when we do get one, it's because we and moan so much that the Academy goes, throw these a bone. And they give it to us finally. That's like, I remember that moment. It was so great when Denzel got an award the same night Sidney Poitier got an award. And Denzel says sarcastically, you know, Sidney, I've been chasing you for so long, and what do? They give it to me on the same night they give it to you. So it's like, when we moan enough, the Academy goes, all right, we got to throw these a bone, and they try to make up for it or overcompensate by going, you know what? Give one to Denzel and Sidney. Look what we did for you. We gave it to two of y'all in one night.
So what would be the alternative? Not giving it to Sidney that night, or not giving it to Denzel? Or,
give it to us as often as you give it to yourselves.
Okay, but where does it start? We can't go back.
No, but here's what happens though. They'll give it to us, and then after a point, it's back to business as usual. But they give it to us enough to shut us up for the moment.
But that has to change too. But you know where it's worse? And I'm only saying this because, and this is why I'm agreeing with you with what I'm about to say, but it sounds like I'm pushing it off to something else. The Hollywood Foreign Press with their voting, there's never black people in it. And that's changing. Not Hollywood Foreign, the Foreign Press. The Foreign Press weren't part of it. They weren't, and I think the reason that the has to occur, sorry, that I'm saying that black people have to about it, is because they're not familiar with black culture. This is the hardest part.
Andy, you've said that before.
No, but listen, please let me finish this. If you take regular white folks that grow up around black people, that have to do with black people, that have to live in the same neighborhoods, have worked together, have been part, we get each other. But when you go these rich elites, that black people only move into the neighborhoods because they make money into their neighborhoods, and I'm saying it that way for a reason. They don't know black people. They don't know black culture the same way.
Okay, Andy, but they know enough when they know what they want to know. They want to know what soul food tastes like. They get in their Mercedes and they drive to the black area of town so they can lick the sauce off their fingers, and then they leave and go back to their gated community.
Once they find out that they want to have soul food. But a lot of those people never have soul food.
But let's go with that. When you go, a lot of them just don't know black people. Here's where that sounds like a excuse, because the real issue is, do you want to know black people? And a lot of them don't want to know black people. So if you're gonna go, you don't know me, that's fine. But do you want to know me?
Okay.
And if you don't want to know me, that's the problem, and that's the truth.
No, there's other parts to that problem, because I agree with you. You should want to know everyone out. You should want to know what's out there. You should want to experience other things besides who you are, especially in America. That's what this country is about. But when you talk about black fatigue, let's talk about it for a second. If being in part of black America was so great, why do people get rich in black America and move to white America?
Say that again?
Why do people who get rich who are black Americans move to white neighborhoods?
Because they don't want to live in the ghetto.
Okay, why?
Why would you want to live in the ghetto? So
then why do you want white Americans to experience that area?
You think that's all there is to black culture, is that area?
No, I don't.
So don't use that as the benchmark, because there's other ways to learn about us without going to the hood.
But if you are those people, and what gets publicized more than anything else?
So now it's the media.
I'm just saying it's part of it.
Okay.
Listen, I agree with you, Aries, and I agree with you.
I know, but you say things in a way that you look for loopholes. It's the media. It's they don't know. Listen, when white people want to know shit, they not only investigate it so well, they actually go to other continents and take it.
Okay.
So don't hit me with that.
When I'm talking about a certain agenda from white America, I'm talking about the people who are in control of things that have money that don't even mess with white poor Americans. They don't live in our same neighborhoods. They don't live with us the same way. How many poor white people do you think know what soul food is?
I'm not talking about
no.
white people.
I understand that, but how many rich white people do you think know what black soul food is?
People know what they want to know, what they want to know.
They have to.
Why are you making excuses for them?
No, because they have to have the reason to have the experience.
What other reason do you need other than let me know my fellow man? Shouldn't that be enough?
There's plenty of things that you don't know.
Oh, stop it.
Stop it. Tell me.
Andy, you make excuses for this.
No.
You make it. Here's what you do. I finally got it. You make excuses, but like a politician, you double talk and go, I agree with you. So if you agree with me, why are you making loopholes?
I'm not making loopholes. What I'm trying to do is get you to understand that you have made decisions in your life of what you understand and what you want to see.
So you're telling me that the Academy Board that runs the Oscars, they just go, well, we're not going to make this even because we don't really know your culture.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they have to be brought over. I don't know how to bring them over. All I know is that as a young man,
Who's supposed to bring them over?
as a young man, and I'm a fan of Basquiat artwork, a black man who's one of the only artists at that time. Why did it take basically another 40 years before any recognition happened to that man?
Why do you think that is, Andy? Because he's black.
Because
You are an anomaly. And me and Godfrey told you this. You tend to think that because you think this way or you behave a certain way that most white people should behave, that all white people think and behave that way. And they don't.
So my question is, how do you get them to be curious enough to get to it?
How did you become curious?
I lived with you guys. That's it. I live with I live next to black people, Mexican people,
So
all people.
so you think that unless a white person lives around black people,
No.
they're not interested? Because there have been plenty of white people who don't live around black people who become interested. Why? Because they want to.
Because they're curious. Because they're people who live amongst other people, and they have humanity.
It's a human being wanting
It's
to
a
know another
humanity,
human being. Okay, that's what I'm saying. But you keep going, well, no, it's because they don't live around them. But why do you think
It's
that is?
because
They don't want to.
At a certain level, they don't
redlining.
They don't have to do anything. They don't have to do anything. They have it all. I'm not justifying. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm saying that's the truth of it. That's one where we differ. Is because sometimes I say what it is, not that I agree with it or that I want it to be that way, but that is the way it is. When you're living at your high fancy place in New York, up in the sky in a big building, you don't have to deal with anybody. New York is more fair because you have to go on the ground at sometimes, but in LA they don't. You get in your car, you don't deal with anybody that doesn't have what you have. You don't need to. I'm not saying it's right. But that's how a lot of rich people live in this country.
If there was you know what I was going to say, if there was a black community, a black neighborhood where I could buy a big mansion and be amongst black people, maybe I would do that. But then again, it's called Atlanta. But I don't want to live in Atlanta. So if I want to remain in California, which is my home, which is what I like, and I want to live in a big mansion, then chances are, yeah, I'm going to live around white people in Beverly Hills. But that doesn't mean I have to forget, A, where I come from or disassociate myself with my people. Now, yes, I might live in a beautiful gated neighborhood next to a rich white dentist or a rich white gynecologist, and I'm the only black person on the block, or maybe there is another black person, but guess what? They're in entertainment, because that usually is the case. But I'm still going be around my culture and my people. I'm still going to do that.
I'm not disagreeing with that. But you say that in a way that you
But no, when you say once you get in this high neighborhood in this expensive place, or this, let's say a high rise on Central Park, you ain't going to want to deal with the people that are beneath you. Even if I had that, I still would.
I didn't say beneath.
Well, not beneath, but, because I'm rich and you're not, I'm still going to want to know about the in the barbershop that, might sell his remixed rap CD or whatever. I'm still going to be around those people.
I didn't say you wouldn't be. What I'm saying, though, is that's the culture that you came from. If you come from a rich white culture that doesn't ever deal with anybody outside their rich white culture, why did they leave their neighborhood? Why do you expect them to leave their neighborhood if you don't expect to leave yours?
Yes, it would never be amongst the Negroes.
Or poors. They don't like poors either, dude. You don't. You want to believe that it's different.
No. I'm sure there is to some extent. But you'd be so quick to take the racial element out of it and make it about money. Oh, it's about economics, poor versus. No, a lot of that is about race.
Okay, so
they don't want to be around.
So if black folks had all the money, except for this small group of white folks.
I like this Disneyland you're creating.
Okay. Do you think who are those white folks going to hang out with? The rich black folks or the poor white folks?
They might not hang out with the rich black folks. They might not. Don't think that that's automatic.
If they live in the same place, go to the same country clubs, and deal with the same things, the things that separate, the things that bond, is different. Black churches is the way that people used to bond in black neighborhoods.
Let's get ready to get to Charlie Kirk.
Okay.
But go ahead, make your last point.
Black churches, that's a place that people used to go. The barbershop, another place people used to go. It breaks down. The system's not the same way that it used to be. You still don't go to
Let me ask you this, in terms of a percentage. What do you lean more towards if there are white people that are not associating with black people, or as you say, they don't know black people, don't come from that world? What percentage would you say of that is economic versus race?
What do you mean? I'm sorry, I really lost you on that.
No, because you'll say, it's economics. They wouldn't hang around poor white people. So to the white people that are well-to-do, living in their high rises, living in their gated communities, that don't know black people or don't take the time to know black people, how much of that would you say is based on race versus class?
No, I'd say a lot of it's based more on race than class.
What percentage would you give it?
I'd probably give it 70%.
So 70 versus 30. Miss me with the 30.
No.
The 70 is what it's about.
Yeah, but the marketing has been that blacks are poor and that blacks are uncultured.
Bad marketing.
No, it is, because I've had this argument with him when I said to him, the problem that a lot of white liberal people have is that they've never been around a black family that they looked up to. Because they come from a social economic background that they're above that, financially above that. And because they never had a family that they looked at and go, man, that's a good family. They're married, they still have 3 kids, a house, nice cars, they work hard. Man, I aspire to be like that when I have my family. That's the difference. That's a big difference. But I have, and you're right. When you say that I'm different, it's because I grew up with black people that I admired, that I looked up to. Not on TV, next door.
Give me one name.
Chris and Eric Washington, Tim Starks.
And he gave it to you quick.
Ooh. He came prepared.
No, because I grew up next to these people.
It wasn't a let me roll the dice. It was a certainty.
It's people that I know, that I grew up next to. And Chris and Eric, their parents were very big in their church. And it wasn't just a black church. There was white people that used to go to this church too. That's the church that I went to. And I was impressed with their family, the way that the dad had some issues with white kids too, because I heard him yell when the window was broken and the other kid broke the window, but I threw a bounce pass to the same kid that broke the window and he didn't catch it and it hit the window, and I heard the dad go, "These white kids, man, I can't have them." But I admired the parents and what they did. I grew up with Tim, one of my best people in my life. I admire him, his family, the way, the togetherness. It's what I want. It's what I crave. But if you don't have something that you crave from someone that you don't see, how do you connect with it? There has to be admiration, and that's what's missing. We don't. When we're talking about that dude, you can stab that girl in the neck because you don't admire any white people. There's no white people that you go, man, these are good people.
Just a maniac.
But you don't have anybody that you look to and go, good people. Good people. I like what they do. I would like to have that. We only admire money and power, and that's the problem. That's what we're getting to, because this isn't about, man, I don't care if you're a janitor and you raise kids and you do well in life and you have you have a house that you've taken care of. You're a good person. You do everything. You end up going to the kids' plays, whatever it is that you're a part of that community. The money shouldn't be the problem, but that's what we really look up to.
Can we please call this episode Disquiat?
Yeah. I'm sorry, but that is a major problem, and I understand what you're saying, but there has to be connection, and it just can't be because I want to know. You have to be brought in, not that you have to bring me in. I have to be brought in. I have to go, oh, that's something I want. That's what we are attracted to. When we're attracted to something, that's when we go and check it out. That's when we want to be part of it.
Well, what was the argument that you guys were having?
How we relate to each other, black and white.
Okay. That's what that was all about.
Well, what did you get lost at?
I don't know, like, what the point you guys were trying to, like,
are you serious?
debate. Yeah.
How did we start this conversation?
It went off on a lot of tangents.
No, it didn't. How did we start this conversation?
I'm not even so sure about that.
That's
The
your problem.
Oscars?
Well, then that's your problem. That's your problem. We started this talking about the young woman who was sliced, which then led into race because he said, I got that white girl. And so what part did you lose track of? This started out about race. The whole journey was
Well, I
race,
know it was
and we
about-
ended it on race.
I know it was about race.
So then where did you get lost?
What's the
I think
what's
this
like
is the problem.
what claim are you guys trying to make?
Why we don't connect.
Okay.
All right.
There are some listeners out there that are like, all right.
No,
I
no. And if they are, they're your age. So Charlie Kirk, I started off by saying in my post, again, as I alluded to here, I wasn't a fan, I wasn't a fan. And certainly whenever he talked about race and things within our community, but I wholeheartedly could look at him and watch him shoot down the transgender thing all day. I don't necessarily agree with his stance on abortion. It's a woman's right to do whatever she wants. I didn't agree with his stance on gun control. So the only thing I agreed with him on was the transgender thing. And again, what happened to him shouldn't have happened. You should be able to voice your opinions without your life being cut short due to murder, assassination, and there were people that were celebrating, which I think is wrong. And we kind of mentioned it last night where I told you that a lot of people were going, while I don't celebrate his death, I also am not mourning him. And you said that was fair. And I think that is fair because, as this thing is unfolding, there are so many clips online and people cut together like compilations of things that he said, which when you take a step back and look at it, you go, dude wasn't really a good dude. And I want to play two clips that kind of expand on that.
What is
By the way, this is my other problem with death penalty. It takes too long, too many
Too
appeals.
expensive.
It should be public. It should be quick. It should be televised. And by the way, I would totally tune into. And you know what? I want to watch that execution. That'll
Now, the only thing I'm cutting this clip short is because I like the caption. All his wishes came true. He goes, I think an execution should be public, it should be quick, and it should be televised. If this ain't irony, I don't know what is. Yours was quick, televised, and what was the other thing he said? It should be quick, televised, and whatever the third thing he said is. Yeah, he fit all three of those.
Except he wasn't convicted of a crime.
He wasn't executed. He was assassinated. But
Somebody
I get it.
basically said, pick whatever saying you want. You reap what you sow. Chickens coming home to roost. You die on that hill. He put so much out to the universe in terms of what people were saying was negativity. And some might use the word evil. That it just seemed like, how ironic.
See, I have a completely different take. I think that today, if you could talk to Charlie Kirk, he still stands by his gun control argument, his gun argument, the Second Amendment.
He would be race baiting this. Or
He said,
he would be stoking the fires right now.
Well,
I don't want to misquote him, but he said something to the fact of gun violence should happen. God, what did he say?
It's going to happen. Just
No, I
when
want
you have
I want
guns.
the actual quote. He said something about there should be gun deaths so many times.
sometimes there has to be gun
Collateral
deaths
damage.
because to codify the Second Amendment, basically.
Okay, so there was a cartoon where he's standing in heaven, and there's a bunch of little kids in front of him with red dots, meaning bullet holes, and they're quoting his quote back to him as he stands in front of them with a bullet hole, red dot on his neck.
But I still think that he believes in that. I think he believes in it because we can say this. And listen, I don't know where I stand on gun control. I really don't. I would like to be more educated before I say anything because it is different. The gun that he was killed with wouldn't have been in any gun control laws. It was a long gun. It was a hunting rifle. It can be used for hunting. It's
Does
long.
it make a difference if a scope is on it or not?
No. So that is not that wouldn't fall under that. But my point is that I think that he would say he said what he meant, and I think that he knew very well that he could be someone. He's had death threats. I'm sure that he knew that he could be one of those people, but he still said it, and I think he meant it. His life wasn't above the laws of the land. That he believed in the Constitution, and that he was not above it. That if he was one of the people to be taken out.
Yeah, it's worth it to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment. He's not saying that people need to be shot.
He said,
or killed for it to
unfortunately.
happen. Unfortunately, of course, if you're going to have guns, there's going to be guns deaths. And to be honest, at least he's being honest about it. But
Well, listen, I'm not. I don't want to. I'm not minimizing. When you see a child that unnecessarily dies, it's a horrible, horrible thing, and it's a gun death, and you go, "That's horrible." More children are killed in car accidents throughout this country. I'm not saying, but no one's gonna yell at. We need to get rid of cars.
yeah,
Everybody,
you
we should
can't
only
get
have
rid of
trains.
cars, but you can put tons of safety precautions on them.
You know what?
And nobody-
but I'm sorry, it's not in the Constitution. It's in the Constitution, codified in the Constitution, that we have a right to those guns.
But car accidents are just that. Accidents.
Yeah.
Nobody's getting into a car going, I'm going to mow down a school full of kids. Somebody is going, I'm going to grab my gun, I'm going to go into a school and deliberately kill kids.
Okay, so that being said,
So that argument about more kids dying.
Yeah, but so the gun didn't kill anybody. The guy who decided to go in there and kill the kids, that same guy could go get in his car and he could go run down if he didn't have access to a gun and he wanted to kill
What are
kids.
the stats of that happening?
We don't know because we don't have we have guns.
We already have certain gun control precautions, not enough of them, and to act like you can't make any of them or you can't.
No, I think there
ban
could be.
certain
I
weapons
said I
is
no.
because even the NRA's position on this has changed. They used to be way more moderate.
I
when it
agree
came to
with you
this.
100%. I think there has to be a lot of different. I don't think anybody who has any mental illness needs to be able to have a gun. I think the people who own guns and then leave them under their bed and their kids to take them out, they should be held accountable for that. If you own a gun, you should also own a gun safe. There should not be a free roaming gun in a house. A kid should never be able to pull a gun out of his dad's drawer and shoot himself accidentally and kill him.
They should be registered too.
Everything should be registered. There should be no more loopholes where you can go buy at these gun shows. All that should be gone.
You should be able to study gun violence too, right?
All that should be done. Yes, I'm for all that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but you cannot. I don't believe that a foundation is the Second Amendment in our Constitution allows that to be there. There's a reason why that's there. But that's my point. But the safety precautions that they're fighting against, I don't agree with that.
So here's another reason why black people weren't necessarily crying over him. Did they just mix my clip up? What the was that? Let me see.
For how they feel about his death, especially minority communities. Black people are better off as slaves. Black women have less brain processing power, which is crazy because we're the highest educated demographic in the country, by the way. 10-year-olds should have to give birth to their rapist babies. Execution should be public, quick, and televised. And children should be able to watch. Black people are only in high-up positions because of affirmative action, not because they are qualified. He called George Floyd a scumbag who is unworthy of the attention he's receiving. He said that gun deaths are an inevitable price worth paying to safeguard the Second Amendment. He told Taylor Swift that she needs to submit to her husband. He said transgenderism is a mental disorder. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. He called Islam a danger to the United States. He said Jewish communities have been pushing hatred against whites. And there's many, many more.
So again, this is why people are like, still was a piece of shit.
If you just take those little snippets out of what he said, though, of course you're going to get some fucked up shit.
That's the problem that is you're seeing this is white nationalism, a little bit white supremacy wrapped up nicely with a suit and a smile. He's telling you all those things, but he's also doing it in a nice,
No,
upbeat
it's not just a
manner.
nice way because those things are snippets of what his whole conversation is.
Okay, whoa.
right,
So
I
are you,
got
wait,
a quote.
why you do that? So are you saying that we needed to hear the whole quotes to think of them differently or see them differently?
I hope that he's qualified as a black pilot. He was talking about especially, that if you use DEI and people know that black people are getting jobs because specifically over anyone else because of it and underqualified, that isn't going to make you uncomfortable, or that you have black pilots, there's no DEI, and you know that they got the job just because of that. A woman, go ahead.
I don't need to see the chunks in sour milk to know it's sour. I can just smell it. So what you're about to do is go, well, what he's really meaning is, because do you want somebody who might not be qualified to be?
But that's actually what he said. He didn't say just those few words.
I know. But it's almost like, come on, man, read between the lines. I really need to see all the quotes from top to bottom to know there's enough accumulated on this dude's quotes to know his spirit is not in the right place. His spirit is not in the right place.
I watched him debate, and he always has been respectful, and he's tried to bring out both sides.
White supremacy with a smile.
That's not white supremacy.
So the part about hold up. So the part about black women's brain power.
I need to hear the whole thing. Because,
you need to hear that whole thing?
Yeah, because I don't believe that he said it that way.
He said it. I've literally seen the clip.
Let me see the clip.
I saw the clip of him saying it.
I haven't seen it.
Andy, I
would
promise
like to
you. I've seen it. It exists.
I don't know if he literally said black people. He was referring
black women
to the Supreme Court Justice Michelle Obama.
And somebody had a nice retort to that, talking about their brain power. All of them either graduated from Harvard, Yale. You know where he graduated from? Harper College.
Who?
I don't even think he went to college.
He didn't go to college.
Charlie Kirk.
He didn't go to college.
Harper. Somebody said Harper College.
He never graduated.
He might have.
Say that part again.
He never graduated.
He never graduated.
He talks about it. That's one of his talking points.
Okay, so what right does he have to say to women who have graduated from Harvard and Yale their brain power, and you didn't even finish?
As far as I know, he didn't even go. He started a foundation.
You're not making the argument better.
Well, it doesn't matter if he went or not. The dude is clearly really smart.
But no. Here's what I'm talking about. Let me get to what I just said. Here you are, talking about women who just happen to be of color, coincidence, with low IQs. You didn't even finish college if you even went. So I don't need to see the chunks in the milk to know it's bad. I can smell it. So as you sit here and get ready to go, I need to see the whole quotes. He said enough wild that you know his spirit is not in the right place.
Well,
you know, when the Ukrainian woman thing happened, he was actually really outraged by that as well. But he would start throwing out the statistics. Black people have this high crime rate.
You need to see the whole quote based on what you just heard about him saying about Jews.
Yeah.
You need to see the whole quote.
Because he says some Jewish communities. There are some Jewish communities that have
Isn't it funny?
issues.
He got issues with blacks, women, trans, anything from narcissists to racists to what's the other? Misogynist. I don't need to see the chunks in the milk. You can't smell it. Why do you need to see the chunks? Let me see the whole thing.
Have you ever watched him?
Yes.
And you took umbrage with everything that he said.
What does umbrage mean? A problem?
Yeah.
I said the only thing I agreed with him on was the transgender stuff. That's it.
I think that he speaks in a way that is non-emotional, and he goes by a way that seems very
He's smart. He knows how to put together to make it sound good. But at the end of the day, when it comes to race, you know, how many times is he arguing about how the demographics are changing? That's a dog whistle, bro. Here's a quote that he was talking about Joe Biden. This doesn't really regard race or anything, but it also kind of plays into like what he would be doing right now if somebody else was assassinated, or in terms of people stoking the fires, how bad the left is. He's one of the most predominant voices, always was on my feed, and I actually did like him, like, you know, his personality, and it makes you think. This is what he said about Joe Biden.
Say that last part again, though. He does what?
What?
He makes you think.
He makes you think.
Okay.
So this is what he said about Joe Biden. Joe Biden, she would talk about Kamala. She'd be a lot easier to beat than Joe Biden. Joe Biden is a bumbling, dementia-filled, Alzheimer's, corrupt tyrant who should honestly be put in prison and or given the death penalty for his crimes against America.
God, you said, wait, just 1 second, though. Take that thing, read it, but don't put Biden. Say Trump. Say Trump.
Nobody on the left has said that he should be executed.
Yeah, they have. Say it again, though.
No, can you tell me who?
Yeah, the guy who shot him.
Yeah. See, this is the problem that you're trying to equate. I'm trying to say what prominent voices and even politicians say
what I'm
about
saying
people on the
is-
left,
no,
and
no.
you're saying
No.
what the most individual
what I'm
on the other
saying
side is saying.
No, and other people have said that he should be put to death. What I'm saying is that there's extremes on both sides, and I don't like the extremes. I don't
if
like
we're talking
when
about the extremes, you can literally.
I don't like when he goes into those extremes.
Look, no,
and I think that
how many politicians on the left right now have you seen saying wishes Charlie Kirk? Now you might not like their answer exactly what they give, but have said terrible things about Charlie Kirk. There isn't many. When Paul Pelosi, 2 days after Paul Pelosi got the hammer, I think Mike Lee, the senator of Utah, posted a picture of Paul Pelosi. No, this was Donald Trump Jr. Paul Pelosi Halloween costume, and then had like underwear and a hammer.
I don't like any of it.
Donald Trump himself even was talking about Nancy Pelosi. Goes, anybody know how her husband's doing? This is sick.
But have you ever heard me say that I like Donald Trump?
No, but
you're
not
it's very
acknowledging
important.
that what it is also bringing.
That
you might get your tariffs, and you might
side,
close the border, but like
the
this,
extreme right
and
is
then we've
fucking
elevated
horrible.
Charlie Kirk.
Did you just hear what I said? The extreme,
extreme
right is horrible.
Now the norm.
No, it's not. No,
Really?
it's not, because then I would have to say the extreme left is the norm of the liberal,
You
the left.
can't, though.
Yes, I can.
No, you
yes, I
can't.
can. Yes, I can.
How? What did I just say to you? I just said the president of the United States was mocking Paul Pelosi.
Did you not hear the things that our president, when Biden was president, I'm going to take him out. I would take him out under the bleachers, and he was talking about beating Trump up.
Yeah, he's trying to be a fake tough guy.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, to take
You know the
a fake tough guy to take on the bully.
Yeah, the left is just as up, dude. And until you understand that both extremes are both just as dangerous, there's a problem.
Well, I will say the people that are like, yeah, Charlie Kirk, and glorifying it. Same thing would have happened on the right. These are the same people.
Did you hear me denying that?
It is kind of a mirror, but to act like fact that I just said those, we've been doing those quotes with Charlie.
Okay, but
Kirk,
here, let me ask you this.
It's been elevated to
let me ask you
where
this.
he is. This is the new norm for the Republican Party.
I like that it's the new norm, because here's what I'm going to say to you about the new norm. That may be what you're saying is the new norm, but the new norm on the left is actually shooting a person running for president because you didn't like their speech, and shooting just a person who had debates that wasn't a politician.
So we're just ignoring all the right-wing stuff.
No, but they actually shot him. They actually shot and killed him.
Okay, so they're more proficient, and they're not.
No.
gun
Where's the? Are they? What's happening right now? I don't see anybody on the right trying to kill anybody on the left at this moment.
There have been numerous bomb calls to a lot of political things, but yeah, okay, you could say that at least they're not rioting.
When you're saying they're not as dangerous, I'm trying to tell you, yes, they're just as dangerous, if not more so right now.
So can you name anybody that's at the political top that has had outrageous comments?
There was a couple when it first happened, a couple, and I don't even remember who it was, but yes,
I can point to the president.
There was some congressmen.
I want to know, what are your feelings about Charlie Kirk?
I think here's what I would say about Charlie Kirk in general. I think that he had an agenda. He's a conservative, ultra conservative. I don't like any ultra put on anything. But I will say that free speech in this country is a core of this country. The left has worked hard on derailing free speech, and that is on the left. The right has done it as well, but it's on the left right now.
Do you?
But I need to say this. Nothing in this world is free. And speech has been curtailed in killing people forever. And
my people know.
Yeah.
Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Fred Hampton,
John F. Kennedy, Robert Kennedy.
You had to throw them white boys in there.
I threw them in there, but what were they? They were part of the same experience, weren't they?
I know.
Look at where they've been killed at. Lincoln killed. What was all the common denominator? Civil rights. Civil rights. But when we talk about it, free speech is not free. certain people pay for it so that we can have free speech.
So, you make it interesting. Let me go back to what you just said. Because someone pointed out, when people have tried to bring people together, Martin and Malcolm got off the whole, once he came back from Mecca and he was about everybody coming together, that's when they take you out. Charlie Kirk was about division.
No, he wasn't. And I'm going to prove that he wasn't right now, but go on.
So being all those takes that he had, that brought people together?
He was trying to take a side on the right that was pushed to being called fascists, Nazis, and the other things that they're being called on the left, and bring that into the forefront with open debate. And yeah, I didn't agree with everything that he said. I didn't agree with probably half the things that he said. But I agree with the fact that he was going public and that he would have open debate and they would have conversation. Because again, and this is the truth, when we're talking, we're not throwing fists. When we're talking, we're not shooting. And that's what he was able to bring, is a conversation, whether you liked it or not. And the conversation was open that if you had arguments against him, you could go show up, grab the mic, and you could argue with him. Now, all these little videos and clips, they were designed to make him look better than he actually was.
Don't use his words.
But but that was what they were doing, and I thought that was to open up the right to a different audience and put it out there like that. I thought it was good. I thought it was better for us. And I think that is showing, when you talk about that, bringing people together, he was opening up the door for people to see another side. And I thought that it was important. Now, if you want me to go into all the things that I didn't like about him, I could be happy to do that because there was plenty. But I thought that anybody who's having a conversation and is willing to stand up for his conversation and be open to talking to anybody about the conversation, I wasn't mad at him.
He did talk to people. Like, he was, out of all the people, I mean, you could say, all right, it's easy, to go and
we got to wrap
find
this
college
up.
people. But yeah, he did have like an open forum where if you wanted to take him down, not like literally, but like you can go and you can try to dunk on him at the college events. You can. So he was one of the people that was more open to debate than other people. So
and when you're open that way,
shame that
when you're open that way, I believe, and this is the truth, and to me this is the truth. If you're open and you're willing to have the conversation, you're also willing to learn. If someone dunks on you, as you put it, you're going to hear something in a different way, and that is open to changing some of your views.
Yeah, but I gotta say, he stood firm in what he believed. So was he really willing to learn?
Yeah, I think he learned. I watched him on. It's funny because it's the thing that you agreed with him the most on his way that he addressed transgenderism and the way that he talked to people in the audience who were going through it. And when he realized that they were actually going through it and that they were, it wasn't just, I believe this ideology because this is what I was taught in school, or this is how I feel and this is how I feel now. He actually had conversations with people in a respectful way, not in a demeaning way, not in a way to like, it wasn't a got you way. There was I got you moments in those conversations, but he would
match your tone kind of. So if you were giving him spunk, he would give you spunk.
Right. But if you were actually there and you had these questions, there's a lot of black people that came up and had great back and forth with him as well. I know what you have there, but what you have there is an easy way to demean, or I don't want to use the word demean, to use words to undermine what they were trying to do.
What you were trying to do, and he's intelligent. He was intelligent enough to not have to try to do it. He did it. He stood on his convictions. He stood behind his words. So when you go, well, what he's trying to do, that he did it. And I don't need to see the whole clip. The snippets tell me enough.
The snippets don't tell you everything.
Oh, stop!
I really don't.
Come
I don't see how you could say that though.
Really?
Yeah.
So, again, Taylor Swift should submit to her husband. In other words, stay in your place. I don't want. Look at these women of color with low brain power, but yet you didn't even go to school. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he also
said that the Civil Rights Act was a mistake.
Well,
yeah, and there should be no Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
I need to smell the milk. I can't just smell the milk.
No, but you can.
I gotta see the chunks.
You can disagree with those things.
What do you disagree? So Martin Luther, the Civil Rights Act was a mistake. That's a disagreement.
Well, there's people that are going to tell you that the black community was doing better before the Civil Rights Act.
He was one of those people.
Yeah.
Were we?
I don't think so.
Okay, so again,
But when he brings up things like family structure was better. There's other black men that talk about this. It's not just him that was talking about this. There's black men that do talk about this.
I take a little less family structure to know that I have the right to vote, to know that I could sit anywhere I want to sit, to know that I'm not going to get abused and killed because I'm black in sundown towns.
Those, and this is where I agree with you, but I have to throw the but in. Here's the but.
There it is.
Yeah, they didn't need to. Did there have to be that? If we enforce the laws that we had, there should be no way that anybody got to sit someplace different. That someone was more. It's not an if. Those are the laws.
Upon a star.
But you're saying so passing a law that already said what the laws were on the books.
Andy,
why did we do that?
I know it's at times a noble thing for you to see both sides, but you don't have to do it all the time.
No, but I'm asking you a real question. If we have laws that say this is illegal, why do we have to make another law that says it's illegal?
Why do we have to play these games?
Yeah.
Because white people, y'all constantly change the rules.
Well, don't change the rules. Follow the rules.
Talk to your people.
It's not mine. I run around with them.
Okay. Give out some things.
I got a 2-for-1 card, and my wife isn't one of them.
Let's just keep talking about Charlie Kirk on the next episode.
We got another Charlie to talk about.
Oh, God. The opposite end of that spectrum. I gotta find the emails.
Update with the Charlie Kirk thing. That dude may or may not have been living with somebody who was
trans.
You know what? Here's the thing. We have to just stop on all the reasons why. It was one person who did this. I'm tired of this pointing fingers thing because this does not help us at all.
Yeah, but it's fun to know.
It is fun to know. Yes, we want to have a reason why it happened.
It's happening on both sides, though.
I agree with that. But sometimes
the political violence.
Here's the thing: we shouldn't have
Give
both
out the
sides.
dates. Give out the
we
dates.
shouldn't have both sides. There should be one side.
Should be.
Yeah, because it should benefit all of us.
Should be. If America's the land built on should be's
No.
and ifs.
Go live somewhere else. There is no better land than this land.
I know that.
Okay, so then it's not the should be land.
What would the
It's
Black
what
Oscars...
we could be. If we would shut the up and do something, what we could be land. That's what we should be called. What we could be.
What would the name of the Black Oscars be called?
Oscars.
Oscars.
The Leroys?
The Leroys. Yeah.
Been sitting on that one for years.
He's been waiting to have it. When the is it? What is today?
And tonight's Leroy goes to Leroy.
Guys, you're listening to this. We're at Hyenas Comedy Club. We're in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
I just want to thank the Lord for this, because without Christ, could nothing be possible. Go ahead.
September 25th to the 27th, we'll be at Bridgeport, Connecticut.
I want to thank my manager, who is my mama. Go ahead.
October 3rd to the 5th, we'll be at the Orlando.
I want to say hello to my kids, Juanica, Shanika, Lakika, Manika, and Basika.
October 9th to the 11th, we'll be at Skyline Comedy Club in Appleton, Wisconsin.
I ain't going to thank my agent because that wanted 10%. Man, that.
October 17th to the 19th, we'll be at Tampa, Florida.
And I want to thank all you at the barbershop that bought the off Terrell and saw it at home instead of in the theaters.
October 24th to the 25th, we'll be at Dos Lagos in Corona, California.
I want to thank my hoes for supporting me through the whole filming of this production.
October 30th to November 2nd, we'll be at Cap City Comedy Club.
I would thank my wife, but the don't piss me off.
And that is in Austin, Texas.
It's taking too long. I got to wrap this motherfucker up. I'm out this.
Spears and Steinberg.
Thanks for listening to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. For more information on where to find us on the internet, visit spearsburgpod.com.